This video is going to be a quick review of how to create a Google form and the kinds of questions that you might ask based on your map. Okay, so I'm just using a very simple, abbreviated, smaller version of a spreadsheet that you might put into your map. Yours has a lot more facts on it. For this one, I just kept it very simple. Okay, now once you have your spreadsheet, yours obviously has a lot more. You're going to import that into your map, which you've already done. So I'm just going to do this real quick, just as a review. So my map is going to populate with those three cities. Okay, now yours should have at least 5, 6, maybe more, but I'm going to need to make a little Google form quiz based on these three cities on the map here. Okay, so I'm going to go into the folder. Now you all have that folder that you should have added to your Google Drive, so make sure to go into that folder. And from here, create the quiz inside here. So you can either go to New, More, and then Google Forms, or you can two-finger click, pull up the menu inside the folder, and just click Google Form. That way it puts the quiz inside your folder, which means it's already in the right place to be turned in. So yes, click it, create in a shared folder. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to title it. So let's just stick with the same naming convention. So whatever your last name is, and we're going to call it Maps Quiz. And I'm also just going to click up here too, so it'll match my title so I can find this later. And it's going to show up right here. There it is, Washington Maps Quiz. Okay. Now, here's where you're going to type a question. It's going to give you different choices. For now, let's stick with multiple choice or maybe a drop-down box or check boxes if there's more than one answer that works. But if there's only one, let's choose drop-down or multiple choice. So we'll stick with multiple choice for now. Okay. So I'm going to look at my map and think about what kind of questions can I ask. So a real simple one might be start out with directional questions like, which city is farthest east? Okay, so this is the one that's farthest east, so I will make that my question. So here's my question, and I need to make my answer choices my cities. Okay, so they're New York City, Denver, and San Francisco. So I will type those in. And I'm going to click out of it. Now, one thing to do here is to make sure that we click to make this question required. So if someone takes your quiz, that they will, it'll force them to answer that question before they submit it. Okay. Now, since you're going to have more cities on yours than just these three, a smart thing to do is instead of having to retype all the answer choices every time, you're just going to click this button right here that says duplicate. So what that will do is it'll copy this whole question and paste it underneath. So we'll just click it and you can see what it does. Okay, so here's number one that you typed before, and here's a second one. Now, I'm not going to leave this question the same, but I will leave these same answer choices. So I just might ask another question like, I can see this city is in the mountains, this one is in the bay, and this one's more of an urban city. Okay, so I'm going to change number two to be a question that says, which is a mountain city? Now, since I duplicated my answer choices from before, I don't have to type them again. Okay. Now, let's look at my map to think of a third question. Maybe we'll ask something about San Francisco. So that's a football team. That's a football team, the Broncos. And the Jets is also a football team. So maybe I'll just make my question something like this. I'm going to duplicate these again. So there's my three answer choices. I'll make number three. Which cities are the home of a professional football team? And instead of making it multiple choice, because multiple choice is if there's only one answer, maybe I'll make it check boxes. And at the end of my question, I'll write, choose all that apply. Okay. So with these three questions, I'm just going to do this right here, this little eyeball icon that says preview. I can click on that, and it'll show me what my quiz looks like to someone who's taking it. So they might click Farthest east, New York City, Mountain City, Denver. What cities have professional football teams? Oh, all of them. And then they would click submit. I'm not going to submit it right now, but this is just an example. Okay, I want to click this pencil to go back to editing, or I can just close this and go back to my editing page. Now, you're going to need to have at least, actually, let me double check the rubric. Okay, I checked that real quick. You need to have at least 10 questions. Now, they can be about a variety of different things. You can see that this one is a directional one, this one is a geographic one, this one is a cultural one, and you can ask all kinds of different questions based on the information that you have in your map. You have things about the economy, about the size of the cities, about the political figures. Just you have your separate interesting facts and just geographic things based on where the cities are on the map. So ask different kinds of questions. It should be pretty easy to come up with 10 because I came up with these 3 in about 2 minutes. So I think we should be able to do that. Once you have all of your questions, something else that you can do if you feel like you're done is if you click this paint palette, you can change things like that, like give it a different background, and you can look at the settings and change some different things there. But for right now, we'll try and keep it simple. And first thing is to get your questions taken care of. And if you want to change some things after that, you can just let me know. Okay, so that is a quick review on how to make yourself a quiz.